This lesson is introducing us to the artist Jasper John and the fact that he uses American symbols. What we're going to do is we're going to take that idea of Jasper John's and create our own paper weave mat using horizontal and vertical strips of paper, and we're going to weave them to create a repeat pattern, and then we're going to embellish it again with a repeat pattern with markers. So it's going to be 3 different processes for this art project. Now, to get this art project you need to have 1 sheet of white paper, red strips and blue strips, a pencil, a ruler, a blue marker and a pair of scissors. Now if we just put our strips to the side, we have to prepare our white sheet of paper first. Initially what we do is we're going to fold our paper in half. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you why in a moment. Take your ruler and I want you to draw just ruler width, don't have to measure it. I want you to draw 1 vertical line all the way down. Okay? Then, this is while it's still in half. I want you then to set your ruler to draw horizontal lines. And just bring your ruler down so that the line is just underneath, and draw another line until you fill the whole page till you get this effect. So you've got the vertical line, the horizontal lines. The vertical line is a guide to stop you from cutting. What we're doing is we're going to create a grid to hold our strips. So we're going to cut those horizontal lines and we're going to go all the way and we're going to stop there. If we continued, we would just be cutting strips of paper again. That's not what we want to do. We want to just cut to that vertical line that we drew initially. And what we're doing is, this is our support. This is our background sheet of paper, and it's going to be our, I call it a grid. So then it's going to hold our blue and our red strips of paper to create that pattern. You just follow that line, keep cutting until you've got them all cut. And what you've cut there are parallel horizontal lines. So when I open it up, you've got the grid. Also, to be sure, when you are cutting it, that you're cutting it where it has been folded. If you cut where the vertical line is, then you're actually going to be cutting strips and you're going to end up with just 2 halves of paper. Now that I've got my grid, we're going to alternate our colours, and we're going to use red first. I'll get myself some red strips. And we weave in and out. So I'm going to go under and over, under and over. And what we're trying to do is create a pattern that is a checkerboard, under and over, under, over, under, over. And then we push it in tight. At the very end, when we've done all our weaving, we're going to get a glue stick and we're going to glue just a little bit at the top and at the back there where the strip is at the beginning and end of each strip, and that will prevent it from falling out. The very next one does the opposite. So remember, we're doing the opposite now. So we're going under where this one went over, and there we're going over and under, over and under, over and under, over and under. And because I alternated it and I did it the opposite way, we then have this checkerboard effect. If I had just gone exactly the same way, you can see just by this, I just create this bar of white and a bar of red. That's not what we want. We want the checkerboard. When you've got your 2/3 of your paper filled with the strips, we're going to need to then work out how to do the blue square. So if I just show you how to do that. So imagine that we have weaved all the way up to about here, which is probably 1 strip beyond the fold of your paper, or possibly 2. What we're going to do then is we're still going to weave over and under, and then we're going to push it so it goes behind. So then we're only filling up the bottom part. that gives us room then to come this way to go over and under to put the blue in. Oops. And when I've got the blue in, and we're going to repeat that process, we're going to go over and under. With the red. And stop it there. And get my blue. And again, alternate it. This one's going to be under and over, under and over. So what we're going to create then is a blue square, just like the American flag. When we've got those all done, then we'll get our scissors and we trim them. And we get our glue stick and we stick them down. When we've got all our weaving in place, we are then going to figure out a way of creating stars, either freehand, where we are confident that we can do them freehand, or we're going to create something, a template, where we can repeat our star pattern in every white square. And if you can see by this one, I did them all blue where the red strips were, and I did them red where the blue strips were. So when you look at it, you've got this amazing repeat pattern using paper weaves and markers.